So we have a professor from Texas A&M University who has been fired, and as of today, September 19th, the president of Texas A&M University has resigned. I am going to show you the video that sparked this controversy and explain all the details surrounding it. What you're going to see is an interaction between the student in this classroom and the professor. Check it out.
Just kind of a recap of our remarks on gender and sexuality moving from last class. What did we didn't get to in our last class?
I just have a question because I'm not entirely sure this is legal to be teaching. Because according to our president, there's only 2 genders, and he said that he would be freezing agencies' funding programs that promote gender ideology. And this also very much goes against not only myself, but a lot of people's religious beliefs. And so I am not going to participate in this because it's not legal, and I don't want to promote something that is against our president's laws as well as against my religious beliefs.
You certainly have a right to engage in things that you find against your beliefs. And you suggested them for false.
Yes.
You are under a misconception that what I'm saying is legal.
Can you explain to me how teaching us about gender identity and transgenderism and that there's more sexes than
gender isn't illegal.
Huh?
My gender isn't illegal.
Gender? What do you mean? Your gender is not illegal. According to President Trump's executive order, if you want me to read the paragraph in the order itself.
It's not enough. If you are uncomfortable in this class, we do have the right to leave.
Yes.
What we are doing is not illegal, and if you would like to make a claim that it is, you need to talk to the department head or the head of undergraduate.
Well, I've already been in contact with the president of A&M, and I actually have a meeting with him in person to show all of my documentation tomorrow, but
We are also aware, and this is part of why there was an observer in the class.
yes.
I'm not convinced that your proposal will be effective in stopping me from teaching things that are biologically true, because I do have the legal and ethical authority, little of the professional expertise in this classroom.
Okay.
It's time for you to leave.
Yeah, no, I am.
So from this clip, you can tell the issue at hand is gender ideology being forced on these students in this classroom, and it's been an ongoing campaign by this professor. As noted by the student, they already approach the president about this and have a meeting set up. And the professor said in the video that they've been observed and they knew they were being observed because of this issue. Now, you may be thinking that gender ideology is an ongoing topic for this professor because this is a science classroom, maybe biology, but it's not. Professor Melissa McCall is teaching children's literature to this classroom. She's in the English department. She's been teaching for over a decade, and when this video was made available to the leadership at Texas A&M University, they fired her immediately. The university is cited as stating that Professor McCall was teaching material which was, quote, not consistent with published course description, end quote, for the children's literacy class. The university also stated that over the summer, changes had been made for content to, quote, ensure what was not aligned would not continue. The university also asserted that, quote, on numerous occasions, she was told to align the content with the catalog and the descriptions. So even as the university requested for her multiple times to stop doing this, she simply didn't care. And this issue is actually worse than just one bad player because the university also had to remove from administration the Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, Mark Zoran, and the English department head, Emily Johansson. This indicates that they must have had knowledge of this, and not only would they have had knowledge of it, but they would have become key players in it. The president of the university, Mark A. Walsh, stated that he learned that key leaders in the College of Arts and Sciences approved the plans to continue teaching the course content that was not consistent with the course's published description. The chancellor of the university, Glenn Hager, also stated that the lecture university content has been, quote, unacceptable in terms of pushing personal political agendas. He said it violated the university's commitment to, quote, academic neutrality. The university has now issued an audit for all content, and as of today, the president of the university, Mr. Mark A. Walsh III, has officially resigned. Now, the state of Texas does have a law which states that gender ideology cannot be taught K through 12, but there is nothing talking about higher education in colleges and universities. As far as President Donald Trump being able to pull any funding from the university, this likely wouldn't happen, as much of the funding that comes from the federal level is congressional. However, the state of Texas gives Texas A&M University quite a lot of money. This massive chunk of money, which is voted on every 2 years by the Texas House and Senate, comes to $60.2 million given to the university. And in my opinion, it is very likely that Texas A&M University was most likely concerned about losing that money. So is this the right move? Should there be the firing of this professor and the removing of those other professors from their administrative roles and the resignation of the president of the university? 100%. Schools and universities must be places of facts and reality, not places of ideology and indoctrination. Professors and teachers have been using their positions for far too long, not to teach the basic facts and materials of the course outline, but to give to the students the ideology and indoctrination that they know will affect them for a lifetime. And we throw our students in there, our young ones. We throw them out there to the wolves and they're helpless. And these wolves are the same ones that give them their grades. So they're forced to sit there and listen to this. They're forced to be indoctrinated and they can't fight against it. In fact, this student, if they didn't film this, was almost certainly going to end up failing this course, as this teacher no way would have allowed the student to pass. But because she documented what was going on, the right outcome ended up happening. This is not a one-off situation. This is happening all across the United States of America right now. As I speak, it is going on and all across the world. And this needs to be dealt with, which is why the firing of this professor and the resignation of the president is in fact appropriate, because there must be an end to this. Now, when it comes to children's literature, imagine all of the important facts and data that this professor could have delivered to the students, but no, she had to go straight to gender ideology and make that a focal point of her class. But more than that, people are beginning to get sick and tired of being told that there are hundreds of genders when in fact we know that there are only two. And that if we don't pledge allegiance to this ideology, that we are gonna have consequences. Perhaps we're gonna get fired, or somebody's gonna threaten us, or worse than that. People are beginning to stand up and say no. We realize biologically humans are male and female. Even common sense teaches this to us. It is about time that we hold these people accountable and they stop preying on our children.